available only through Three's phones as the company goes after the youth market.
They're very much what we call the mobile generation, so they're young, they're very savvy, they've got limited time on their hands, and they want to be able to access and do what they want to do very quickly.
Which, of course, includes keeping up with CNN. Music industry watchers say mobile is less vulnerable to piracy and more standardized around the world. And
wireless is the ultimate implementation of I want my song when I want it, wherever I am. And when you can do that wirelessly, you've really expanded the market tremendously.
The iPod may seem the gold standard now, but the way we access, buy, and store music and video is changing at a dizzying speed. Few would dare to predict how it will evolve, but it should be exciting.
And it's probably the best time right now, the most exciting time, because we're out of the sandbox, we're on the beach, and a great thing is that the tide comes in every night, washes it clean. We start every day with our imaginations. And we can imagine whole different ways of doing things every single day, and we get to go out there and actually do it.
Or as MC Lars would put it, similar to CNN Atlanta.
While some audiophiles are tuning into MC Lars or the Black Eyed Peas for their musical pleasure, others are downloading literally for laughs. At jibjab.com, you can send a jib-jab cartoon to your iPod for $1.99. To meet the men behind the website's animations, we turn to our Daniel Seberg.
Since 2004, their signature cartoon has been seen by hundreds of millions of people online and on TV.
This land belongs to you and me.
We didn't hear directly from any of the top people, but we did hear through the grapevine that both of the candidates had seen the piece and laughed at it.
Brothers Evan and Greg Spiridelis work with a handful of staffers out of a modest office in L.A., and they encourage a laid-back approach.
Actually, our wives think we're crazy because in 6.5 years of business, we haven't really fought. But basically, the black and white answer is that Greg does the creative writing and I do the art.
They've recently launched an expansion to their site, jibjab.com, pushing to maintain their presence in the face of increasingly popular user-generated comedy and video sites like youtube.com and iFilm.
The whole idea is about creating a place where it's easy for people to share. It's easy for people to discover new funny jokes online and easy to share it with friends.
Their newest project is a departure from their political skewering, offering everyday jokesters a virtual locker called Jokebox.
The idea for Jokebox actually came about because our dad is a prolific email joke sender. And one day we just said, wouldn't it be great to have some place where we could kind of file away all of these crazy jokes that Dad sends us? And that was the kind of kernel of the idea for Jokebox, and from there it grew.
A real-time stream of jokes and video clips uploaded by JibJab users is projected on a wall. The brothers have organized a team of regular users called the A-Hole Patrol to monitor for racy content.
Above every joke is the ability to rate the joke on the scale that you typically see for a movie, and also the ability to report offensive jokes.
Most guys take sides. I go both ways in D.C.
Each production is like a short film, with Evan and Greg providing the early inspiration and acting. They often make a Hitchcockian cameo, too. For the final cut, they get a little help.
With This Land, we have an actor named Jim Meskman, who is a phenomenal impersonator.
One moment, I'm John Kerry. Next moment, I'm Bill Clinton.
Despite their distinctive rudimentary appearance, plenty of technology is involved in the creations, take after take. For example, with their most recent animation, as their 2005 rendition of President Bush marches through the year.
Everybody walks differently. There's nuances, so with him, we knew it had to be optimistic and uplifting, even though the stuff he was singing about was not terribly uplifting. He had a difficult year. This was my 23rd pass, so there's 23 revisions before we finally wound up with the walk cycle. And then that's pasted into the animation.
Both guys say the adage holds true. Dying is easy, comedy is hard. But they say they're in it for the long haul.
So those are you guys?
Yeah, I'm the guy above the jib, and he's above the jab.
And since I drew the logo, I gave him the cool mustache.
Yeah.
He gets the curly mustache.
So what keeps the Jib Jab founders grounded as they approach their 7th year of business?
Yeah, there's a piece of humble pie out there for everyone. You just don't know when you're going to get it.
When you're going to get served.
So I guess we live our lives like the humble pie's right around the corner, you know.
Daniel Seberg, CNN, Santa Monica, California.
Hollywood has taken the hologram out of this world, like this scene from Star Wars Episode 3.
General Kenobi has made contact.
But how close is this to reality?
The vision of Star Wars is something that can be achieved, but the means by which to achieve it will not be what's represented in the movies.
MIT grad and co-founder of Zebra Imaging, Michael Klug, has mastered the art of creating these larger-than-life holographic images. Boiled down, they are three-dimensional pictures projected with a pair of lasers. But Klug says interacting with these 3D figures still presents a challenge.
The hologram is not something that can occupy space without having some piece of film somewhere between your eye and the holographic image.
However, Klug believes we could still see a version of holographic virtual meetings come to life within the next decade.
Once we get those basic technologies out and demonstrated, the sky's the limit.
And to show that there are no limits in the video gaming world, the major players in the industry put their next generation consoles on display for us. Our Daniel Seberg went to Los Angeles for all the action.
In the multi-billion-dollar video game industry, there's nothing playful about the latest duel for your dollars. At this year's Electronic Entertainment Expo, Nintendo, Microsoft, and Sony want to convince you why you should buy into their next-generation consoles.
I'm very careful in terms of where I throw my money, and right now my money would be with Microsoft.
I would have to say the Wii is pretty exciting.
It was touchy-feely with Nintendo's Wii, a new name meant to symbolize togetherness, but mainly generating a lot of head-scratching, like many of Nintendo's offbeat ideas, including the Wii's game controller, equipped with a wireless signal and motion sensors.
Bullet time.
Yeah, do it. Now we're playing games differently. You know, we're not just seeing new games, we're playing new games.
The Wii controller even made Nintendo's brain trust look athletic.
Let's see if our executive team here can make a comeback.
Microsoft's Xbox 360 launched last year to high demand, but was hurt by shortages.
It's great to be invited to E3.
Microsoft used E3 to show off its Xbox 360 PC cell phone connection and promote its software lineup, with plenty of buzz around a sneak peek of what's to come in its marquee Halo series. Microsoft also revealed an add-on player for the next generation of DVDs.
We have not disclosed the price just yet on the HD DVD player. Stay tuned.
Sony steered its announcement towards the graphics power of the PlayStation 3, showing how in-game characters like golfer Tiger Woods will have more detailed expressions.
That's what I'm talking about.
And basketball players will move in a more lifelike way. So if hardcore gamers are typically brand loyal, who's left to buy in?
I think there's actually a massive market out there. It's just grandmothers, it's younger brothers, younger sisters, mothers, fathers, people who wouldn't traditionally be considered gamers.
They'll have to pay more than ever to play in the latest virtual worlds. Sony tips the scales at $600 for the high-end model, Microsoft at $400 for its souped-up version. Nintendo is expected to hit under the $250 mark.
I think that it's going to really be between Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3. And, you know, evident of what we saw here, it's going to be a very bitter fight.
Who will come out ahead when all these consoles eventually hit store shelves? You, the consumer. Analysts say all the choice will help bring prices down as gameplay goes up. Daniel Seberg, CNN, Los Angeles.
Sounds good to me. Thanks for that, Daniel. Now, if you're interested in becoming a video game designer or a robot inventor, for that matter, you may want to learn more about a career in engineering. CNN's Reynolds Wolf caught up with some tech-savvy students doing just that.
Pointer down in the logo.
For inspiration and recognition of science and technology. That's the acronym for FIRST, the annual competition in which high school students, with guidance from mentors in the industry, design and build robots. The idea is to get young people excited about careers in engineering and the sciences, to show them a world beyond sports and entertainment on TV. Founder Dean Kamen says the goal of the 15-year-old competition is to break stereotypes.
If we could find the Shaquille O'Neal of engineering, and put that person in front of all the kids in the same kind of fun environment as they see these world-class young athletes. And if these kids go back to school with a little bit of passion and a little bit of thought, you know, maybe that engineering and science is worthwhile, we are going to dramatically change the outcome of their decision-making as they choose careers.
Each team started with the same kit in mid-March and was given only 6 weeks to put their robot together using the parts from the kit. Now, each robot kit cost about $17,000, but the students pay only the entry fee and traveling expenses, which, as you can imagine, are not cheap. The young people go out into the community to raise money, to get sponsorships for their teams, and in that process, they learn something about business. And once students have taken part in FIRST, they are immediately eligible to apply for future scholarships in engineering and the sciences.
People say they want to be an engineer, but they don't really know what being an engineer involves.
It's not really something you can take in high school as a class to see what it is. So doing this definitely helps to see what engineers really do.
Since 1998, FIRST has expanded to add another division for students aged 9 through 14 to compete. Reynolds Wolf, CNN, Atlanta.
That's all the time we have for now. Let us hear from you, though. Email us at next@cnn.com. And remember to check out Pipeline, CNN's on-demand online video subscription service for all the latest news feeds. I'm Richard Louie. Thanks for joining us.
I've heard some amazing stories. Talked with incredible people from all over the world. I can't wait to see who sits here next.
Need a new computer? Want a great price? Get a Dell. Fast, powerful.